Welcome to the first of many videos on this channel. My name is Donal and I'm going to be using this platform to document my first year as a competitive natural bodybuilder. As of today, I'm 26 weeks out from my first natural bodybuilding show. The idea of competing in bodybuilding first popped up for me mid-2021 after my second photo shoot. But at the time I'd already set out to set up my own private facility. Since then, headquarters is well and truly up and running and I can focus more time on my goals of stepping on stage. But enough about me. Today we're going to be training legs with my beautiful assistant Finn, and this is what we have on the cards. I need 8 and, well actually I don't, I need 9 and I need spotted for 3.
Sweet. Go.
That's an exercise that we had seen James Hollandhead and Cuba doing and just decided to steal it. But great exercise for engagement of the core and also development of the abs. But overall the engagement of the core is going to be so helpful. Get into some of these bigger leg exercises on down the line. Just took that pre-workout and now I'm feeling all buzzy. I don't want to just stand there doing calves.
Easy work.
I train 5 days a week and the split is a push-pull legs, upper lower. So pretty much day one is going to be pushing arms where we're focusing mainly on the chest, shoulders, arms. Second day we're looking at the posterior chain, so anything from the upper back, mid back, erectors, glutes, hamstrings. So we're running through some heavy pull movements along with some stiff leg deadlifts, which I love. And then third day in, we're looking at legs. So sort of a similar layout to this. This is actually my lower session, not my leg session. So we're on through, we've got some heavy hack squats. A lot of the movements are the same as of today. The only thing we're really different is going to be pulling into leg press and the Bulgarian split squat. 5 and 3?
5 and 3, let's go.
I dropped off 3 reps there, so I don't really know how we're going to go, but we'll give it a go.
Ready? Oh.
Yep, go for it, go for it.
Steal that rep on you?
Almost. I think a lot of people see exercises like this, especially in their workouts, and they just think, oh, it's just an isolation workout, it's just something to do a wee bit of abs, but you should be taking every single exercise seriously, no matter what it is. I'm going to treat every single one of these exercises like it's a compound, and we're going to leave nothing in the tank so that we can get the most growth. And whenever we do step on stage, I'm not sitting there going, fuck, I wish I had took it a wee tiny bit further. I'm trying to leave nothing in the tank when it comes to this kind of training. I've got a couple of warm-up sets. I'll probably take 2 or 3 just because we're not really used to this machine yet. And to sort of get a rough idea of where we're at. And then pick a weight for working set. Benefit is that Finn's just went, so we can sort of see what he's done as a working set. And then add a couple of kilo ticks, some strong arm.
That's heavy as fuck.
It does, there's something...
It gets heavier in the short leg.
It's something like that, I couldn't remember what it was.
As soon as you lift it off, it's heavy, but...
As soon as you put it into that.
It's a wee bit deceiving, but it's nice like.
Yeah. Are you mic'd up?
Aye.
If you have any nice wee tips about that gym thing,
put you on the spot like. Let me see after I do my top set, you know what I mean? Give me a wee second before I go in. All nervous now. It was nice.
Yeah. Hey, you know you made it whenever you put your initials
on the bench.
On the bench.
By Healy. My music cut out halfway through the set.
Bit nervous, like it is heavy.
What are you on?
80 something.
It's heavy, but
it really comes off in the short end, like.
Because the setting that I first had it on was too far back.
That's what I'm thinking. I would have knocked that back and I'd
just take it down for a rep. Nah. Good man.
You're welcome. wires off now, it's warm. I don't even know how many reps I got there. I actually need to look back on the video. I'm happy with it, especially that last rep was nice. I just didn't want to close in at all. No, it's handy, like, see the amount of tripods that we have broke, like the wee dicky ones you buy off Amazon, and actually spent a bit of money on that. Like, you could actually beat someone to death with that. See, especially for like bodybuilding, and like if you're being coached, then you need to send across videos to your coach. Like, a good tripod's definitely needed. This machine's really, really nice. The line of resistance can be very off because it's consistently the same the whole way through. And what we find with muscles is that we are strongest in our mid, so like the mid section of a lift, just a tiny bit weaker in the lengthened, but then the shortened is the hardest part to get into, so that's the part where we're at the very top. This machine is built very well because as we're actually coming up to the movement, it's lightening up to make it easier for you to get into the shortened, and that's why you found on that last rep there I was actually able to struggle through it a lot better, whereas in other gyms we've trained in, you'll find that because it's the same load the whole way through, you can't actually get into the shortened as well as you want to. Going with the right mindset. I think people that blame their surroundings, their facilities for reasons that they can't make gains, it's just an excuse. I spent 8 months in a shed in my back garden during COVID with a barbell. That was it. Mate, that last set was disgusting.
Nice.
Yeah. Take 11 again. That was nice. Finn's trying to beat his, or no, are we on to the new weight?
170.
Yeah. So last week you hit 165 for 8 reps.
But I have a groin strain.
No, you don't.
It's all mindset.
It's all mindset.
But
don't actually take that as advice if you have an injury. Do not.
Be sensible.
Yeah. So we've got leg extension next. See out the videos here. Most of the clips you're going to probably find that you'll hear me talking about injuries quite a lot because I am broken, very, very broken. And when it comes to that exercises, I'm having to make small incremental changes to try and make them work for me better. One of them has to be, I've had a previous patella tendon injury, and that has hindered me in the fact that one of my VMO are way smaller than the other. And of course, with our leg extension, it is going to be one of the only exercises that we find is going to be very beneficial to the VMO, the teardrop. So in this movement alone, I'm going to hit a single leg rather than going double leg because one of my legs is much stronger than the other. So you probably wouldn't get as much out of them. And over my time of doing this alone, I've seen a lot of growth in both individual legs, and even the injured one is definitely coming up to speed with the weak one. And when it comes to bodybuilding, one of the biggest things we have is symmetry, and we want to make sure that our body is symmetrical as possible. So we don't want to have smaller, like one smaller arm than the other arm, and it goes for legs as well. So another thing, when it comes to that injury specifically, because I went so long without being able to do certain leg exercises, I found that my hamstrings were much more dominant than my quads were. So trying to sit at a right angle, like most leg extensions want you to do, doesn't really work too well for me. So what I do in this, what I do for this exercise is I'll actually set the seat back quite a lot for me to be able to slouch back and allow my hamstring to loosen up and allow my quad to completely shorten, to contract. Another thing as well, whenever we're setting up this exercise, we want to ensure that any sort of pivot point of the machine, this goes for our hamstring curl as well, is it's lining up with our knee joint because that's the point of movement. So we want to make sure that this pin here, that is the pivot point, is lining up with both our knees. So most of the time, people give up on this exercise because it is going to sort of challenge our lactic acid threshold, and it is going to be our pain threshold as well, and how much you can just bear to be in it. I don't think many people fail on this exercise because of the inability to do a rep, but actually the pain of it. Me and Finn have been talking quite a lot about being a full-timer or a part-timer lately, and I think that's definitely what it comes down to. I don't think it matters what your goal is. I don't think it matters about like barriers and stuff in your life. It's not that you need to be the best, but you definitely need to be given 100% into every single variable that you have control over, and that comes to these sessions as well. So we're sitting here right now at 5 o'clock on a Friday afternoon, absolutely battering ourselves, but it's because we want to be the best, and that's it. That's the bottom line. So going from our first set there being very high reps, we're going to actually put the weight up and go for a lower rep range. I think this is mainly put in place because of the injuries. So instead of just getting into something really, really heavy and possibly injuring myself more, we're actually pre-exhausting the quads, pre-exhausting the ligaments and tendons and around the knee as well. And then when it comes to the actual top set, we're getting a lot out of a lower weight, meaning that our load management overall is perfect. And at that point, load management dictates everything, and load management is the reason for every single injury we'll ever get. So manage your load. The potential of competing against each other, I think some people would be sort of a bit uptight about it.
Yeah, it's not like I'm trying to beat him or he's trying to beat me. We're teammates, you know what I mean? Until he beats me, and then I'd have to punch ahead of him. You know what I mean? Mentally preparing for the set, like every single heavy movement, you should be going into with a certain degree of aggression, but also composure. That's why there's this music on, for the composure, because we want to make sure whenever we're going through the set that we're still perfecting the form. We're not letting ourselves slip up on anything, and whenever we're too aggressive, we usually let the form slip because we're just focused on getting the weight from A to B. Not risking that. Getting them plate sauce harder than the stiff leg, mate.
I think you should have went big boy and put them 50s on.
Are they 50 kilo plates?
Yeah.
Man, that's mad.
These things are 50 kilo each. I think Healy got these off a shipwreck.
Did he actually?
No.
Mate, come on, I'm only after doing a stiff leg. Fuck's sake.
The downsides of bodybuilding at a very young age is that your brain cells unfortunately just disappear.
As soon as I started lifting weights, my intelligence just went down rapidly.
But it's okay, he's got big biceps. Next movement's going to be a Bulgarian split squat. So pretty much setting this up a bit differently than you'd see most do it. You're probably going to find a lot of people set this up off a bench, but as I said before, previous sort of foot break has left my foot a wee bit sensitive depending on where I'm putting pressure on it. And when it comes to the setup, I can sort of set my ankle on it. Makes it a bit easier. So the way we're going to set this up is we're going to set up the bar in around knee height, and then we're actually going to set another platform up here, so that when we're coming down into the bottom of the Bulgarian, we're actually getting better depth than we would prior because our knee doesn't actually touch the ground. You have to remember that it's all in the name. We still want to set up like our normal squat position. I think this is lost for a lot of people, is that whenever they start to set up for a split squat, they start to close off their hips. They start to move their torso and their upper body in a different way. If we were looking at this, we want to look at it from the side, and what we'll actually see is that our body is actually in a perfect squat position. The hips are open, our knee is driving over our toe, and our torso slightly tilted forward. Whenever we are setting it up, we do want to be in our usual squat position, and then from there just dragging the leg back into position on the platform that's behind us. And then from there we've still got an open hip, our torso's still in the right position, and then we've still got a perfect squat. So the reason we only do like 2 or 3 reps in that warm up is because our legs are already warm. There's no reason that we need to do 4 to 5 working sets. I'd say a body weight set's nice, and then a tiny bit of weight onto it just to feel what the load's like and manoeuvring the dumbbells, and then from there you're pretty much free to do what you want. So our top set today is going to be 40 kilos each hand for 10 reps. So let's get it. We're going to get the knee sleeves on, just add a bit more support. And then we've got the wraps on as well to make sure that our limiting factor isn't our grip and it's actually the legs working, because we don't want our grip to break halfway through, drop the dumbbells, and then the set to be non-void. When it comes to exercises you really hate, I think you should make a point of getting good at them and making them something that you really like doing. Mainly because whenever we're staying away from exercises we dislike, it's usually because we're shit at them and we feel weak. So why not take your weak points and work on them and make them the best possible? And also because there's no ego behind them, we can make sure that they're perfect. We're not getting into the movement thinking we need to lift a certain amount of weight. We're actually getting into the movement and getting the most out of it.
What are you looking for?
40s. And this is a 40.
Man, I don't know. I genuinely don't know what that is. Are each of these a 5?
Yes, but they're smaller at the end. So that's a 37.5.
Wow, it's a bit of serious mental arithmetic there, like.
Healy probably has it in the car or something.
He's doing a single arm bicep curl out in the car.
So, same again. Take 1 minute in between, try and get my heart rate back down, try and get my breathing back to normal, and then do the second leg.
Which one of these are 32s then, Donal?
Said before, second leg's always worse because, especially if you set a good standard on the first one, we want to make sure that the reps are, well, the repetitions, they're exactly the same, they're uniform. We don't want to miss because then we end up with one leg bigger than the other if we continue to do exactly that. So, the one bit of advice I would give you if you're getting into a set like that is to always start with the weaker side. My fucking shin. Bit of a new leg press for us. The resistance profile might be a wee bit different comparatively to what we're used to using. So we're both in sort of new territory there. Don't know what we're going for, and the hardest part's going to be deciding what weight is challenging enough to get the most out of the reps, but also not too heavy that we end up ruining the set and basically wasting it. The hardest part of a leg press is fighting comfort and discomfort and going against a lot of what you're actually taught. It is completely fine for your spine to round. It is completely fine for your bum to lift off, and it's completely fine for you to go onto your toes, like all the things that you're told against. Yes, it does make for better form to have all those things in place, but if you're strong in them positions, if you become strong in them positions and you can still progress on them, then who's to say that it's not okay if it still works? That looked fine.
Wow.
What was your issue with it?
Just didn't feel right. I'm gonna have to bitch out of this one, like.
Really?
Aye.
It's giving you issues?
Well, I feel it on that one, like, so I'm gonna assume.
It's gonna get worse as you go.
Aye.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna call it, but I'll do calves on it.
Okay.
I have a sprained groin at the minute, and it's important to know whenever you have to walk away from certain exercises, especially if you do have an injury, because ultimately, what am I getting out of that extra set on a leg press? Yes, it may be a decent stat from a stimulus standpoint, but if I injure myself on that leg press and I can't leg press for 2 months, it's not really a good trade-off from a risk to reward standpoint.
Bang's not worth the buck.
You said it.
Like, we haven't touched this machine before, so as much as it doesn't seem like a massive stress from the outside looking in, from a perspective of like not bodybuilding, you're trying to make every single set count, so you don't want to overshoot it or undershoot it, because the difference could be that I could end up on this here set for 20 reps. It's probably the set that gives me the most anxiety. But not in a bad way, in the sense that I just want to do really good, and I don't want to waste the opportunity and have to wait another week to do it again, to try and better it. So the sort of pre-game jitters is what you would call it for the big sets. after a big set like that, you're trying to eliminate all external stimulus you put in place prior. So whether it's like knee sleeves and stuff like that being tight around your knees and straps and loud music, trying to bring everything back down to normal as fast as possible, so we're not wasting energy, we're not overstimulated. If you've made it the whole way through this video, you're a full timer and I appreciate it. And look out for more content coming in the future, because this isn't going to be the last video and we're going to be dropping some absolute bombs on the way through prep and up there show. Thank you. Oh, my legs, my quads are flipping minced.